Welcome to another episode of War Hero to Superhero. We are in the Superhero Battle Room, more virtual buttons to press than anything under the sun. And we're starting our week with an awesome interview. An Army veteran, Larry Peacock, that transformed his life with Amazon and other side businesses that he has now grown to teach you guys how to go over and thrive, especially in the online course world, which I'm trying to learn. So I'm going to interview him for me first and for you guys second. I'm kidding around. It's all for you. So we're going to bring Larry into the scene, and he's got a great American flag in the background. I need to get his virtual background after this. So Larry, thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you, sir. And that's actually a real drape. It's a real drape. It's not a virtual background.
Oh, maybe that's why half my head's cut off. So it's always get confusion on the whole TV world and stuff like that. So I want to thank you for joining. And we love to hear your war hero story. Like, how long were you in the Army? Where did you go over and serve? And how was it?
Awesome. So thank you again, Daniel. I appreciate being here. Hello, everybody. My name is Larry Peacock. I've been in the Army for 10 years, started in 2010, enlisted as a medic, went to the infantry for a little bit, and then eventually, long story, but eventually I finally became a commissioned officer as a second lieutenant and ended up as a first lieutenant before I transitioned out. So I currently am in the process of transitioning to the reserves with the intent of going to active duty, which is something that I've always wanted to do. So I've been in the Guard the whole time. And I will say this, I'm one of those stories, it's a frustration, but it took me 7 years to become a military officer. And again, that's kind of a longer story, but in that time as a ROTC cadet and as a candidate, you're non-deployable. So I never had the opportunity to deploy. And it's just one of those things where I actually literally tried to deploy 3 different times and it just didn't happen. So it is what it is, but it was a great experience. I love it. I love being in the military. It's hard to, obviously, Daniel, you know the story, but it's just a brotherhood like no other. And so anyway, it's just been a great opportunity. So, and I'm still looking to go to active duty here within 2 years, just taking some time off.
Wow, that's a drastic difference going from Guard into reserve then to active duty.
Yeah.
Most people I hear, it's just like we stay, we get tired, we retire. That's why it's called retire, because we're sleepy. Yeah. And then we make that transformation. So you're going the exact opposite. You're making this transformation saying, hey, civilian life is not enough for me. I go part-time and now I'm like gung-ho and I'm like, practice.
I'll say this. So I've always wanted to go active duty, and it's difficult as an officer. It's very difficult to go. The Guard does not want to lose their officers for obvious reasons. And so I had this opportunity to take some time off to focus on my family and whatnot. And so I'm moving to the reserves because it falls under the active duty component. And so once I'm in the reserves, when I'm ready to go active duty, I can just go straight up, and I don't have to get a letter signed off by a 1-star general, which you would have to do in the Guard, and that's difficult.
So an exact opposite. So you're making that transformation in a sense. You're still being that superhero on the outside, but then you're trying to become that full-time war hero. What would be the hardest and lowest points of, I don't know, getting out of the Guard, going to the reserve, and now making that transformation to active duty?
The only thing that would ever concern me, in the military, as you well know, as everybody knows here, all the veterans listening, especially from an entrepreneurial mindset, there is a cap from pay, right? There's a pay cap, and that's frustrating. As an entrepreneur, you want to be unlimited in your ability to produce income. So there is that kind of like, when I go active duty, I'm going to be, I'll be a first lieutenant, and I'll have this cap, and that's just kind of frustrating. So that's my only kind of hesitation right there that I think about. So I do have this time right now where I'm focused on my online business and growing that to specifically online courses where I can create an income over and over. So that's why I'm focusing on that avenue of approach.
That's really cool. Someone's asking, can I join from Twitch? Well, you can go over and join the service. You can get with Larry since he has more experience than me in all three versions of officer and guard and everything else. So definitely get with him if you want to do that. You'll have to connect him on Facebook. Just I don't know how to pronounce your name, but we're going to go back into the interview. But if you have more questions, definitely ask. So the stream. Oh, can you join the stream? Yeah, you sure can. I mean, well, no, not to talk, but it's part of our interview.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're in the Twitch world. We're streaming at 7 locations. So yeah, so if you definitely want to ask the questions, go over and ask them in the text, and we'll definitely answer them for you. So going from there, so the entrepreneurial track is difficult for you in that sense of now going active duty. But how did you make that transformation in the first place? Because you said you were guard, and that's a struggle, and then now you became entrepreneurial. What made you transform to that superhero entrepreneurial veteran?
Prior to the military, I kind of always had this entrepreneurial mindset. I started off, I played basketball since I was in my mom's stomach, and so my first entrepreneurial deal was training little kids how to play basketball. But then I got into a lot of different things that were fun, right? I became a professional dance instructor. I ended up owning my own ballroom and teaching people how to dance, traveled all over the US and the world. I was a musician and a music major, pianist, trombone, and I composed 2 symphonies. So I did all these fun things. But at the end of the day, those particular things didn't land me. It was difficult to get a 9-to-5 job. And so that's why I joined the Guard, was to get an actual skill set. And so I became a medic. So that's kind of where that transition took place, because I did, I had my time doing a lot of fun things, but at the end of the day, I wanted to get a skill set. And so it was a great opportunity, a good transition.
Yeah. So what made you go to Amazon then?
So I was in the medic field I became an Army medic, and then I did EMT, and I worked in the hospital. Once I got my master's in project management, I was looking for, I wanted to kind of get into the business side of things. And so after I got my master's, I started looking at different opportunities, and a military recruiter reached out to me for Amazon, and Amazon flew me out to Florida, paid for my hotel, did all this stuff, and I landed this huge contract as a manager for Amazon 3.5 years ago. So, I mean, we call it the golden handcuffs, and they gave me all these stocks back then when the stocks were 700, and the stocks now are at over almost 3,000. So pretty incredible opportunity. So I couldn't turn it down.
That's amazing. So what are you doing specifically at Amazon, having all these stock options?
Yeah. So at Amazon, I'm a manager, and I'm kind of termed a launch manager. So I started out in South Carolina, and then I opened up 2 delivery stations. I started out at a fulfillment center, which was 1.5 million square feet, massive, right? A massive fulfillment center. Then I went from there, and I opened up 2 delivery stations, which is a smaller station that delivers packages to the actual houses. I opened up one in Florida and one in Portland, and then I had this recent opportunity to go to an AR site, Amazon Robotics, in Nashville, Tennessee, home of Funnel Hacking Live. So I was like, hey, I'm going. So I'm now in Nashville.
Wow. So that's pretty huge in that particular regard. So you just got opportunity after opportunity. So as going over and being that superhero, how do you help others transform? Because most of my stories are not that way. My story wasn't that way. It was like grinding, trying to pull on a rope and having weights at the end of my ankles and everything else. So that's not common. So what did you go over and do to either pivot that, or how do you help others to get out of that?
My intent, so my greatest satisfaction that gives me like the most content, excitement, is to help people get paid to do what they love. At the end of the day, that's the number one thing that I get the most excitement out, is how can I help somebody get paid to do what they love? So anytime I have a conversation with somebody, specifically military veterans, I'm asked, what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? Because for me, I did it in basketball, music, and dance. I just made it happen, right? And I figured out, how can I get paid to do what I love? And it was amazing. Man, the things I trained for dance in Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden, and just the stories I have of all the things that I've done. And I did that because I made it happen. And it just brought such a sense of fulfillment. And I know that would do the same thing for those who I speak to. And so that's kind of where I'm at, is wanting to help military veterans get paid to do what they love, specifically when they're transitioning out of the service. What are they going to do next? What's their next step? And for me, it's just, hey, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? Now let's go make it happen.
That's really cool. So it sounds like you'd just be doing this from an active basis, kind of helping those people as you're serving them in the Army. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So we ask this for every person that comes on our show, is like 3 superhero tactics. So it sounds like you already have a ton of tactics, and I know you probably have to whittle it down to 3. So hold back, only 3. But we want to hear what would you give your veterans and the people that you work with so they can go over and thrive.
Awesome. So I wrote these 3 down. Number 1, establish your brand. For me, when I established my brand, it was the American flag, right? So I'm kind of known. Everybody, anytime people see me, they'll see me with a flag. And it all happened at Funnel Hacking Live 2 years ago when I showed up, and I happened to have a flag with me, and I had my Amazon military shirt. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear this every single day at Funnel Hacking Live. I'm never going to change my shirt. And it was gross, right? But I established my brand, and it got to the point where literally just a few weeks ago, somebody from Steve Larson's team referred a soldier to me. The guy said, yeah, Steve referred me to you. He said Steve. I was like, Steve Larson, the man himself. And anyway, whoever it was, whether it was him or not, the point was that they knew I was the military guy. And from that point, so when I was at Funnel Hacking Live 2 years ago, I carried that flag everywhere I went at the event, and I got a picture with every single veteran at the event. To the point now, again, where people know. And so now I have this collage of pictures with all these veterans. And it got to the point where people who were not even in the military wanted a picture with me in the flag. It was pretty funny. But so I just established my brand, and I stuck to it. So that's number 1 tactic, is establish your brand, stick to it. Number 2, how to find a hot buyer organically through Facebook. This was a pretty cool tactic. So my intent is, I do high ticket online courses. I'm training under Andrew Cruzy. And this one trick I learned is, whatever your niche is, whatever your avatar is. So for me, it's online course creators. So what I do is I go to Facebook groups that are online course creators, and go to the members section of the Facebook group, click on the members section, then go down to the part where it says most recent, and it will list the people who have just joined. So I go to that section, and you add organically, 20 a day, not more than 20 to 25 a day. And you add those. Those are your hot buyers. Those are people that just joined the thing that you want to, connect with. So that's a hot buyer organic traffic, a little superhero thing. Lastly, I do high ticket online courses. So high ticket coaching consulting. This is a neat little thing that you can do, is when you have somebody on the line who you're on a phone call and you're trying to close a deal, one way that you can move them closer to a yes is that during the phone consult, when you start to hear them being positive about the opportunity and they're pretty interested, one thing that you could do is give them 2 to 3 small task wins that they can do right away, literally on the phone. So what I usually tell them, I say, hey man, like I'm talking with a photographer, say, I can say, hey man, what I want you to do, and he hasn't said yes yet. I'll say, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and get on Facebook and start adding yourself to a whole bunch of Facebook groups that are all about photography, right? So that's one example. And I tell them that, and I say, and do that for when we start training. So I don't say if we start training, I say when we start training. So those are 3 superhero tactics that I provide you guys. No,
that's huge, going in that particular. That's how I grew my Facebook. I did the whole 10 per day, and then
Yeah.
you actually talk to them and organically connect with them and then like their stuff. And that's huge, especially if you have that avatar. That's really cool. So we want to thank you for joining on our show. We'd love for you to go tell us more about this high ticket online courses, because I know for me, I want to go over and do that. I already offer some mastermind courses, but what is high ticket online courses, and what type of person would you be looking for to train that type of person?
Absolutely. So high ticket online courses, this is my flagship product that I already have the complete outline built, and I'm doing this training under, so I'm modeling what Andrew Cruzy does. And I will say this about Andrew, if for those who don't know who he is, for a guy, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about results. It's not about what you make, it's about what you help others make. And obviously, Russell Brunson's probably of ClickFunnels is at the top of helping create so many 2 Comma Club winners, right? Earning so much money. Andrew is another one of those guys where every single day he's helping people earn. And I was watching him for about 3 to 6 months. And I was watching him. I was like, how's this guy doing this? Where his clients are earning $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month, $300,000 a month. And this is happening all the time, all the time. You go to his Facebook group or to his Facebook profile and you look and you'll see it. He just did it today. Some person making over $200,000 a month, closing a $70,000 a day. And I was like, what is he doing? Right. And so I took a weekend course with him to learn his tricks. I was like, what is this guy doing? And I took this weekend thing and I was sold. I was like, boom, done. And I entered his accelerator mastermind. It's Authority Accelerator. I entered it, and it cost a lot of money, right? It costs a lot of money, but it's high ticket. So, and I'll say this: if you want to sell high ticket, you have to be willing to invest high ticket, because you have to understand the angst that you give your clients are going through to get to put forth down that kind of money, right? So you got to be willing to invest high ticket, and so I've done that. And anyway, there's these 4 principles. I won't detail what those are, but there's the 4 principles that he kind of goes over in the Authority Accelerator that I'm implementing in high ticket online courses. And so that's what I'm modeling after. And so I'm in this launch phase of high ticket online courses, and it's built all on that. So I have the entire layout, 6 modules, where it's 6 modules of how to create a high ticket online course, and then complete another 6 modules on how to actually sell high ticket. And that's all the mindset and the tactics of selling high ticket. So the first part is how do you create an online course, right? And the second part is how do you actually make that online course high ticket and send it to Evergreen so you're earning cash over and over and over. So I'm in that launch phase, and the training that I'm going through is incredible, and I'm just implementing that. So it's a great opportunity to learn that and how he closes those deals. It's just phenomenal. So it's been a great opportunity to be in there.
So who is your ideal client? Like, as people are listening, what would be the person that would want to jump in here? Because we have veterans that are in the war hero story right now, and other ones that are transforming into a superhero story, but there's going to be a specific niche. So would I fit? Would you fit? I mean, what's the type of person that you look for this? Because it's not an easy thing to go jump into.
Yeah, absolutely. So for online courses, obviously there's what I'm looking for. My particular avatar niche is a transitioning military veteran, somebody who's getting out of the service, looking and what is my next step? What am I looking to do? That's kind of who I've landed on, who I've focused on. And in the high ticket online courses, we take those veterans and we determine what is their passion, what are they passionate about? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to build an online course about something that you're not passionate about. You have to be passionate about it. And then we teach them how to find that high ticket, or how to find the avatar, find the hot buyers, as that tactic that I just showed you guys. And then we take them through the online course creation, setting up the modules and the lessons. And then we take them through the videography and actually shooting the online course.
That's really cool. Do you have like scholarship offers, or is it because it's high ticket, the veterans got to have high ticket funds coming on in the military?
Absolutely. So we do have this is the beta launch. And so I'm working on the beta launch. I'm working partnerships with my clients for this beta launch. So there's a lot more into that, but obviously people are interested. And by the way, when people go to high ticket online courses, it's all organic traffic, right? So when they go to highticketonlinecourses.com, it goes to my Facebook group. You will see no members in it, but there's a purpose for that. You wait until and this is from Andrew, you wait until you have over 200 members before you launch a Facebook group. And that has to do with the Facebook group algorithms. You don't want to launch to a small following, and especially to a small following that's not engaged. And so when you go there, you answer the 3 questions, Facebook questions. Those are all required. I have to know those questions. I have to know what you want to do and where you want to go. And then once you answer those questions, when I'm ready with the 200, I'll reach out to those people individually. But when I'm at the 200 mark, I'll open up the course and it's go time.
Oh, wow. That's a really cool strategy. So I want to thank you for going over and joining us as one of our War Hero to Superhero stories. Again, it's a unique story, so glean off the wisdom that he had before, because a lot of us have to learn the road of hard knocks, and definitely we don't want to do that at War Hero Superhero and also our parent company, Learn and Live. And if you like Larry's story and you're watching this now, we'd love you to watch all 21 minutes and 15 seconds and counting. But all it counts is 3 seconds for the algorithm of Facebook to go over and count as a view. So if Larry gets the most views throughout our platforms, we primarily go through Facebook because that's where we get our most traction. So if we get the most views, Larry gets that in 3 days. To give him 3 seconds, we want you to watch the whole thing, of course. But if you give him the most views, he'll be uplifted to our television show, which is averaging about 10 to 14,000. And we're expanding as we go. So if you like what Larry's stories is and you want to connect them, you also can connect them to high ticket online courses. So Larry, I want to thank you for joining. Any last words before we close out?
No last words. I can't think of anything. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Daniel, and go Army, beat Navy.
Glad I'm Air Force, didn't have to take a hit. So.
Oh my God. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you all. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.